How does it affect the economy?
Disruption has changed the way music is sold, the way it is bought, and the way it is heard. New, innovative technologies creating new markets can disrupt older, firmly entrenched businesses. As the use of the internet grew, music could be bought and downloaded through legitimate services such as iTunes, causing the CD industry to lose power. Now anyone can download music for free from any legal music streaming website, like Napster, causing a great drop on legitimate downloads. Back when file-sharing network Napster burst onto the public consciousness in the late 1990s, it was clear that the music industry had itself a big, possibly insurmountable problem. The model whereby people paid for music content, going to shops to buy records, tapes, or CDs, had suddenly been rendered quaint, inconvenient, and worst of all, expensive. While it is rational to think that file sharing may decrease legal sales, it may also raise legal demand. Music is an experience good. Consumer sampling of music before purchase can allow them to become sufficiently informed about the quality of music to be willing to pay for it, particularly for less established artists. Having a free preview motivates the consumer once he is convinced that the song or album is worth the price. It must also be taken into account that not everybody consumes music the same way. Although we live in a digital era, there are still people out there that prefer the great sound quality of a purchased vinyl record. PwC partner Hugh Thomas said, "When I sit down to actively listen to music, I much prefer the warmth, depth, and resonance of new vinyl to the thinner, tinier sound I get from MP3s on the go." A lot of music fans feel the same way. The noticeable boom on vinyl sales can be observed on the independent record store Dusty Groove in Chicago. It is one of the nation's top independent sellers of vinyl records, which have experienced a sale boom in the last 7 years, going from 1 million to 6 million sales in 2013. Despite the negativity surrounding digital disruption, there is always a ground for optimism. Not only has vinyl made a great comeback, but there is also a rising adoption of subscription-based streaming services. This optimistic way of handling digital disruption predicts that online streaming services, such as Spotify, can save the music industry and reduce illegal downloading. It is believed that this will be a new growth engine due to the fact that people will be willing to pay more for music in order to have access to a lot more music that they can possibly imagine. Credit Suisse has previously forecast that global paid streaming customers will more than quadruple from less than 40 million this year to nearly 160 million by 2020.
How big is the music industry in Europe?
What makes the music industry in Europe so much interesting is the major impact of internet and digitalization of it. This has helped to the evolution of Europe's music industry. Digital music market in Europe has boomed on the past years. European consumers have access to over 30 million tracks across over 200 legal digital services. 2013 was a great year for the European music industry because it grew for the first time in 12 years. Nowadays, the digital revenues represent 31% of the total revenues of European Union. IFPI affirms that this European Union growth is the double of the digital growth in the US. The largest music publishing industry in the European Union are Sweden, the Netherlands, UK, and Germany.
And what about Spain?
The music industry in Spain has been changing along with the world's industry and the economic crisis that had affected the country since early 2008. Music sales have plummeted 80% over the last decade. Spain's music industry is still fighting after approximately 12-year declines. On the last semester of 2014, the industry grew, as Spanish people bought 150 million euros on music. This exceeds over 20% the sales of recorded music on 2013.
Created using Powtoon.